Store Communication Channel 5 presents high school football. Today, a South Jersey semifinal in Group 1. The Lions of Gloucester High School visit the Red Raiders of Paulsboro High School. Hi again, everybody. Mike Lindner along with Steve Crispin on a chilly but sunny day here at Paulsboro High School for what should be an outstanding football team. A couple of teams coming in with super records and outstanding players. But Steve, when it comes to this team and this playoff today, you see a lot of similarities, and it starts with the coaching staff.
Absolutely. Two coaches that came in at the same time in their careers, 1987. On the Paulsboro sidelines, Glenn Howard, and there's not enough you can say about the job certainly that he's done here at Paulsboro in terms of revitalizing this program. Of course, it's been a great program over the years, but he's added something here. There's a lot of excitement in the town of Paulsboro, and has done certainly a great job in building this program up to be a powerhouse not only in the Colonial Conference over the past couple years, but also in Group 1. And you turn it over and look on the other sideline, on the Gloucester sideline, and Leon Harris has done an outstanding job. The years before Leon came to Gloucester, this was a program that was really struggling. Winless years prior to Leon's coming to Gloucester, done a super job in terms of turning this program around. Certainly a highly competitive team in the Tri-County Division, and now recently has become a very competitive team in the Group 1 playoffs.
And of course, here at Paulsboro, they carry the flag in the end zone that says Paulsboro Pride. And in Gloucester, Leon Harris adopted that word to turn his team around when he got there. But when you talk about football teams and offense, it always starts with the quarterback. And today, we've got two guys named Kevin.
And again, the similarities continue, and they're going to continue as you look at these two teams throughout the course of today. On the Gloucester sideline, Kevin Bolden. What a job he has done as a sophomore coming in a situation in which to try to continue their program. This is a team that puts a lot of pressure on the quarterback position. This is a team that likes to pass the ball, and to have a sophomore come into this program and do the job that he has done this season has certainly been a big plus for Leon Harris and his staff. Look back earlier in the season, probably the key play for Gloucester, and the reason they're here is because of Kevin Bolden's pass against Gloucester in the final seconds that gives them the victory over Gloucester, puts them in this game today, and not the Bulldogs from Gloucester in their program. On the Paulsboro sideline, everybody knows Kevin Harvey, an outstanding athlete in the sophomore season, but he just seems like he's been there forever, and he carries a lot of the offensive load for this team. A little bit more of an offensive threat on the Paulsboro offensive side of the ball than maybe Kevin Bolden is. Bolden more of a passer. Gloucester has to be concerned with Harvey's ability to not only pass the football, but also to run the football.
And of course, the mirror image continues when you take a look at statistics, because offensively, both these clubs at 35 plus a game, and defensively, both allowing just over 6 points a ball game. If Gloucester's going to have a chance at all, though, Steve, they say that it's going to come down to not so much the passing of Bolden, but the running of Jason Chody.
Absolutely. I felt going into the game before I got here today, it may have been the passing of Gloucester that would have made the difference. But now as we start to look at the conditions on the field, a very heavy wind blowing here, going across the field, it's going to come down to which team can run the ball more effectively. Coming into the ball game, a lot of people that feel that maybe with Tyrone Bradshaw in the backfield for Paulsboro, they may have the advantage. So a lot of the pressure is going to fall on Chody, the offensive line for Gloucester, whether they're going to be able to control that line of scrimmage and how productive they can be in running the football.
Well, there are the similarities, but there's one place where it all ends, and that's when it comes to playoff history. Playoff history since 1975 has pretty much belonged to Paulsboro.
Right, since 1975, since they instituted the playoff program, Paulsboro has been there 13 times and has come away with 6 victories. No team in South Jersey has been there more often and has been successful. And of course, you said the fact that they're here, there's a defending chance at Group 1. They love nothing more than to continue that tradition.
And on the other side, you talk about Gloucester, and they are but 1-5 in playoff action. But Leon Harris will try to turn the Lions around today, and Glenn Howard will try to keep that from happening with his Paulsboro club. Playoff action coming up from Paulsboro and Gloucester after these words. South Jersey Group 1 semifinal from Paulsboro High School. The Lions of Gloucester High School visiting the Raiders of Paulsboro High School. And we're going to go to midfield, and we'll have Bill Smith, today's referee, with the coin toss and opening discussion. Let's listen to Bill.
Captain Harvey, nice to meet you. Gentlemen, take a moment and introduce yourselves.
Captains we're looking at: 23 Ron Drain, 45 Mike Pinges, 65 John Hancock,
Mr. Russell
and 41 Jason Chiotti.
Brown will be the back judge. Mr. Harris will be the
on the
umpire.
Paulsboro side, Greg Harvey, Jason Lucci, Brian Peck, and Matt Davis.
The box man. Mr. Wilson will be on the change, and Mr. Kelly will be on the change. Mr. Krawitz is in the booth. He is the clock operator. All right, the clock is official. All right, gentlemen, let me take a moment to remind you of your duties as captain. We look to you for leadership. If we have a problem with your team, we're going to come to you. If you have a problem, we expect you to come to us. Most important thing I want happening today is I want no talking between teams. Paulsboro talk to Paulsboro only. Gloucester City talk to Gloucester City only. Okay, that will stop a lot of this stuff. If we have a penalty, I will come to you. I will give you what I consider to be your best options first. I will repeat them as many times as you need. I will allow you to look at your coach, but please listen to what I have to say because sometimes they don't understand what's happening out here. All right? I'll repeat it as many times as you want, but once you make a decision, the decision has to stand. Is that correct? You understand me? Okay. Who is going to do the call? All right. This is the coin. This is heads. This is tails. I'm going to flip it in the air. You call it while it's in the air. I have to catch it. If I drop it, we do it again. And in this wind in my hands, you never can tell. All right? Calls heads. It is heads. You won the toss. You want to defer. You want to defer. Gloucester City has won the toss. They have elected to defer. Paulsboro, it's your choice. You want to receive? All right, you must kick. Which goal you want to defend? All right, put your backs to the goal, please. All right, put your backs to your goal. All right. Paulsboro will receive. Gentlemen, shake hands. Let's have a great ball game.
Well, there it is. That's the first decision of the day to be made. And interestingly, Steve Crispin, Leon Harris has decided to defer. That shows some confidence in his club and his belief that defensively they can give Paulsboro the ball first and come up strong and get the ball and then have that opportunity at halftime to make the judgment depending on what they need. We'll be back with the opening of this game, South Jersey Group 1 semifinal, right after these words. The quest for the gold begins right here in South Jersey Group 1, the semifinal. The Lions of Gloucester High School, Red Raiders of Paulsboro High School. Mike Lindner along with Steve Crispin, and you can see the ball rolling off the tee as Ed Hill prepares to kick off, and I wouldn't be surprised they're going to have to hold that football. It'll be Mike Tinges, number 45, who will hold it. The wind here is blowing across field, but it's got to be up between 30 and 40 miles an hour at least and should play a role. Deep will be Artis Ruffin, number 2, and Greg Harvey, number 3 for Paulsboro. Ball is not going to get there, however. It's going to be taken up tight by Kai Myers, and Myers is going to put Paulsboro in good position. They will start at their own 41-yard line as we get underway here in the opening period. Well, the question right away will be whether or not Mr. Harvey offensively will go to the air as he did last week against Sterling in that Super Bowl game for the Red Raiders. He dropped in the first half, Steve. Every first down, he dropped in the passing formation. With this wind, I don't know about it today. We'll turn instead and go to DePietro, the fullback, who will try left tackle. He is driven to the ground. Initial hit by Paul Herrera, number 22. He gets help from Mike Tinges. Offensively for Paulsboro, Harvey, DePietro, and Bradshaw in the backfield. They will have Nevis as a wingback. Greg Harvey will be the split receiver. Ron Giorgiani, the tight end. The two tackles, Wayne Hampton and Matt Davis. Lucci and Peck at guard, and John Weber at center. DePietro finds the hole over right guard and is going to be very close to the first down. In fact, may have it. He is driven to the ground defensively by Derek Buchs and by Paul Herrera again on his second tackle today. It is a first down for Paulsboro.
Now, quickly, we do see a change in game plan for Glenn Howard and his coaching staff coming out with establishing the run. With the weather conditions being what they are, the running game is going to be so important for both of these offensive ball clubs.
Isaac Hardy, along with Greg Harvey, are the split receivers. will turn on the counter trap. Nothing doing here. Good job defensively done by John Hancock making the stop. Hancock, wearing number 55, has been strong all season long. Playing both ways, 5'10", 212-pound senior. Gives him a lot of bulk in the middle. There'll be a loss of a yard on the play, 2nd and 11.
I think defensively, the one thing this Gloucester club has to be concerned with certainly has got to be to contain Kevin Harvey and his running ability. Come out in a base 52 defense. They play it very simple, but they're very fundamental ball club.
DePietro off right tackle will struggle to get 3 or 4 yards. He's hit again by Paul Herrera. Herrera doing a super job so far. That's tackle number 3 for Paul from the linebacking position. In fact, he's been sliding a lot from linebacker to nose guard, hitting and containing and then sliding to the ball carrier, and has done an outstanding job so far. Isaac Hardy will split to the far side of the field. Greg Harvey to the near side. Harvey on the option, looking for running room. He's not going to get much before he's driven out. And defensively, Walt Mader, the two-way end, plays tight end on offense, defensive end defensively. Drives him out of bounds as he gets to the Gloucester 40-yard line. It will be 3rd and about 3, or 4th down, check it, and 3 yards.
That's one of the ways in which they try to get Kevin Harvey to the outside. They're running the option. Harvey looking for any openings he can find. Mader doing a real nice job of stringing that out. And I think that's where teams have been very successful in defending Kevin Harvey. As he runs the option, you've got to take him out of the play, force him to pitch the ball or force him to run laterally and not allow him to get upfield.
Now they're going to bring Giorgiani over in the tight end. Harvey has trouble with the football, but wants to run the option and try to get to the 1st down. And with the good speed is going to do that as he crosses the 35-yard line, gets it to the Gloucester 34-yard line. So I guess if you're going to go on the big play, you go to your money guy, and there's no question who that is, Kevin Harvey.
Well, that time they did make the adjustment on the offensive line, bringing the tight end from the one side to the other and electing to run that position. Defensively, Gloucester adjusted their defensive ends, Mader coming to that side, but that time Mader got held up at the line of scrimmage. It's so important for these defensive ends to get across and force these running backs back up to the inside.
They slot to the right, but they run to the left, and there is good running room for Artis Ruffin. The junior alternates with Bradshaw at the tailback position, and he crosses the 25, gets it to the 24, and they'll have to take a look. Ed Smith says, let's bring in the chains. Possible Paulsboro 1st down.
That's a very impressive beginning for this Paulsboro Red Raider team. One of the strengths of Gloucester, you talk about similarities, you talked about the fact that scoring-wise, these two teams are very close, averaging over 35 points a game. Defensive-wise, very strong defensively, as you can see there. Paulsboro looks like they have enough for the 1st down. Now, one thing Gloucester does not want to allow the Red Raider team to do is establish a very strong running game. You want to force this team, you want to force both teams to have to put the ball in the air today because it's going to be so difficult to move the ball in the air.
We have not seen Kevin Harvey attempt a pass yet. And they are having the success running the football. Again, Giorgiani moves. Look at the adjustment from the Paulsboro, or the Gloucester defense. DePietro off right tackle. Gets by the first couple of hits, but he cannot shake the hold of Don Shoulder, number 74. So Shoulder will be credited with the tackle. He gets some assistance from the secondary. It is 2nd and 5.
Of course, one of the big question marks coming into this season was the backfield of this Paulsboro team. Everybody knew Harvey would be a quarterback. Of course, there were some questions whether or not they move him at halfback, but certainly DePietro and Bradshaw have stepped in and done a great job in terms of keeping this fine and strong running attack of the Red Raider team alive.
Again, Giorgiani moves, and with this adjustment, Paulsboro may get a benefit in their blocking as DePietro finds the hole over right guard this time, and he's got another Red Raider 1st down as they get the ball down close to the 10-yard line. I'll tell you what, I don't know that you defensively can handle the movement of 4 or 5 defenders if Paulsboro is going to then go on the quick snap the way they've done it. This movement of the tight end is really causing an adjustment on the Gloucester side defensively.
And that's what the coaches will have to discuss at halftime. Are they benefiting from the adjustment that they're making defensively, or is it causing too much confusion? And right now, DePietro is doing a fine job of running that ball between tackle and tackle.
Harvey now Cuts back inside, spins, turns, comes all the way back the other side. He's going to make it into the end zone. Now there's some excitement for you. 11-yard touchdown run by Harvey, who goes over to the fans and receives their credit and their accolades. But that is all Kevin Harvey.
And we said that's the one thing that Gloucester could not allow to happen on the sweep to the right-hand side. They did a fine job of defending and forcing the action back to the inside. But then on the individual effort and the fine running ability of Kevin Harvey, he takes a broken play and turns it into a touchdown.
And now Jason Lucci to attempt the point. He's been successful 36 times this season, looking for number 37. With the strong foot, it's off to the left as they had some trouble holding on. We'll take a look at that touchdown.
Sweep to the right-hand side. Kevin Harvey's going to turn. He's going to follow his backs. Watch the defensive end at the upper part of your screen for Gloucester. He'll do a real nice job. Of course, he gets held up on the inside, but then gets to the outside. This is DePietro on the play before that, picking up the 7 yards in the first down. This is the one prior to Kevin Harvey's touchdown run.
We'll get a chance to take a look at that, but Paulsboro did what they had to do, and the decision to defer and not take the football did not pay off for Leon Harris and the Lions of Gloucester.
Well, first of all, they didn't get a good deep kick, so certainly Paulsboro was able to take over with good field position, and then they were able to establish that fine running game. Here we're going to get to see the opportunity to see the touchdown run. Harvey on the sweep to the outside. You'll see the defensive end, the defenses be able to react, force it back up to the inside, but here's where you got to wrap and be able to make the play. Harvey turns, and now he's going back across the field, and there's only one defender there, and it won't take much to beat him to the corner.
A couple of good blocks there at the end also that were thrown to allow him to get in for the touchdown. So 6-0 following the attempt at the extra point that was no good by Lucci. That is the parents and grandparent of, or his mother and grandmother of Glenn Howard watching the ball game from the protection of their automobile.
I think that's who Kevin Harvey was going over to and receiving congratulations from as he took that ball into the end zone. And of course, that's the excitement that he's brought to this football club, to take a play like that and to turn into a touchdown after you think you've stopped him defensively and able to go across the field and take it into the score.
That was his 14th touchdown of the year. He has also thrown for 8 touchdowns. So he's been a scoring machine here. Lucci now. It will be Chiotti who took it at his 18-yard line, and Jason Chiotti, the leading scorer in South Jersey, gets the ball up over the 35-yard line. They'll start 1st and 10 from their own 36.
Well, very important for this Gloucester team that they get off to a quick start. Although the wind is blowing very hard, it is blowing across the field, but I think if you have an advantage, it would probably be at Gloucester's face right now, so they may find it a little bit more difficult, Kevin Bolden, as he comes out here on offense, throwing the ball in this direction. But this is a team that has been able to move the ball in the air, and certainly something this Red Raider team has been preparing itself for this past week.
He will do it from the I formation. That's no surprise. It'll be a double fake by Bolden, who's going to come and hit Bulskis. Derek Bulskis will pick up 4 yards, but he is really racked and hit. Bradshaw is there along with Greg Harvey. Will be 5 yards credited to him. It'll be 2nd and 5.
Here you're going to see on the replay, just coming out of the backfield, just along the flat. You'll see him, Boca's lined up. He's at the fullback spot, comes right along the line of scrimmage. It's a quick, safe pass out into the flat, picks up a good 4 or 5 yards. And you can see this Gloucester team's not going to waste any time coming out and putting this ball in the air.
11 touchdown passes this year from Bolden. He leads South Jersey. Now they give it to the upback, Paul Herrera. And Herrera may get a yard or 2 or 3, depending on the spot, but he's going to pay for it as he's driven back. Getting up from the bottom of the pile is Wayne Hampton, the outstanding sophomore, number 56.
Herrera, yeah.
Steve Anashevsky of the Channel 5 Sports crew, keeping stats down on the sideline today. Wearing his Paulsboro colors. I can't imagine. I'm sure if he goes on the other side, he'd put Gloucester on, wouldn't he? Not Steve. So it'll be 3rd and less than 2. for the Lions. Now from the power I formation, it'll be Chiotti from the tailback position. Wants to go to the outside, stops and comes back inside, and now Gloucester has their first down, and that cut is what separates Chiotti from other running backs.
Absolutely. Chiotti knows what his limitations are. He knew he was going to try to get to the corner to pick up the yardage necessary, but he knows he's not going to be able to outrun the defensive cornerbacks that are going to come up and pursue for this Paulsboro team. So he cuts it back up the inside, knowing he only needs a couple yards. Big first down from Gloucester. They really want to try to establish something, especially their running game early here in the ball game.
Bolton with backs open behind him wants to go to Ron O'Drain. O'Drain, the leading receiver for Gloucester, breaks a couple of tackles and finally gets downfield and picks up another first down. Bradshaw has to get him in the backfield. O'Drain has come in with, that is his 24th reception of the year. He now has about 470 yards on receiving yardage, has 6 touchdown passes.
Real nice executed play. Bill Hagan had come out there. He was number 15. He was the lead blocker. He got a block on the cornerback, and that's what really was able to spring O'Drain to pick up that good yardage.
Chiotti, off right tackle, nearly loses the football as he was, it appeared that Hampton was trying to strip him of the football, but Chiotti pays attention to that matter and therefore is held to about 2 yards. It'll be 2nd and 8. The line, Brian Herrera, the center for Gloucester, McKinney and Hancock the guards, Clark and Newcomb the tackles, Mater the tight end. Hagan, one of the split receivers, Ron O'Drain is the flanker. Paul Herrera, the fullback, Jason Chiotti, the tailback. Gonna put the ball up in the air. This time it's picked off. DiPietro, Eric DiPietro picks it off. We'll have to wait and see if that ball was hit or tipped. I believed it must have been, but that will be an interception and it'll stop the Gloucester drive.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Mike. There we see DiPietro on our screen coming up with a big interception out of his defensive end position. It looked like he was hit just as he was ready to throw the ball. Looked like
Mike
Bell was able to get in there and put the pressure on Bolden, hit his arm as he was making the throw out into the flat. DiPietro's there. Big turnover for the Paulsboro Red Raiders.
4 minutes left to play here in the opening period. They'll try DiPietro again. Not much doing there.
Watch Bell coming up on the inside. A hand goes up and catches the elbow of Bolden just as he's throwing the ball. DiPietro's heads up all the way and is able to take that ball in.
DiPietro, a real pleasant surprise for Coach Howard and the Red Raiders all year long. Strong guy, does a super job. Senior, 5'11", 175 pounds. He's scored 6 touchdowns this season so far. Bradshaw, the tailback. They'll toss it to him. Look at the blocking in front. Lucci did a great job for the last block that he needed, and is Bradshaw finally driven out of bounds by Bulskis. Derek forced to come from the safety position, and DiPietro picks up, or Bradshaw picks up a Paulsboro first down.
Again, I really believe that this Gloucester defense had to stop the run coming into the ball game to be successful, forcing Paulsboro to put the ball in the air. But as of right now, they've not shown the ability to stop this ground attack.
DiPietro on the counter trap, nothing happening there, as Walt Mater just slid down from the defensive end position and made the stop. Mater's a good one. 5'11", 190-pound senior, number 88.
Well, Gloucester needs to be very careful. They're much the same situation Sterling was a week ago in the big game between Paulsboro and Sterling, the 2 undefeated teams, as Paulsboro jumped out on top real quick with 2 touchdowns. And it's so difficult to come back on this team. Kevin Harvey, not liking what he sees, calls the timeout.
2:30 left to play here in the opening period. The home team, Paulsboro, on top 6-0. We'll be back with more football action right after these words. Second and 9 for Paulsboro following the timeout. They'll go with Bradshaw again, and he has some blocking out in front of him, but this time it is handled by the Lion defense. making the tackle. First hit Ed Hill, number 85. He gets assistance from Michael Tingis, number 45. Be a gain of another yard or so. It'll be 3rd and 7. Chilly, windy day at Paulsboro. Say the wind chill factor today, it's in the 40s, but with the wind chill, it's down in the 20s and it feels it. Now for the first time, Kevin Harvey wants to throw, wants the screen pass to DePietro, and it is beautifully defensed by Jason Chiotti, number 41, who read it perfectly.
Oh, you are right, Mike. They had the screen set up to this left-hand side. Gloucester made the substitutions. They went into what the professionals call a nickel defense, where they take out an interior lineman and a linebacker and bring in the extra defensive backs. But Chiotti with a big play there. There were blockers in front of Bradshaw. He had a lot of room on this side. He's able to fight through there and knock that ball down.
Lucci now to punt. He will stand at his own 46-yard line. Gets it off. Good punt against the wind. This time it'll be taken by O'Drain at the 10. O'Drain wants the sideline. He gets there, but not much more than that, as he is driven out of bounds first by Eric Frisbee and then cleaned up on by Greg Harvey. It will be Gloucester football at the 15-yard line.
Well, that was a good defensive series there for the Gloucester Lion defense, as they were able to take away the good yardage on 1st and 2nd down, force Paulsboro into 3rd and long, forcing them to go up top in the air. And now they want to, again, get things going offensively.
They will go with a slot formation to the left side. Chiotti now comes to a wing on the right side and goes in motion. You've got to think pass by Bolden. Nope, they're going to go with Herrera, the lone remaining running back, and he really is hit by Greg Harvey. He goes backwards, he didn't go down, and he'll get some yardage out of it. But Paul Herrera, 6 foot, 170-pound senior, getting more action today than he's accustomed to.
This is a real simple offensive scheme from Gloucester. They always use 2 wide receivers, except maybe in 3rd down and short yardage. Run primarily out of the I formation. They run a lot of leads with the fullback going up into the hole first, halfback following.
Now in the trap to the right side, Chiotti is getting nothing except trouble. As Bradshaw is there. He gets the shoulder into him. Mike Bell, number 7, helps out. Hampton, 56, helps out.
Hampton getting a hand on Chiotti as he got to the line of scrimmage and slowing him up just enough for the rest of that defensive core to get in there.
Ball at the 31-yard line. 3rd down and 5. At the 32nd mark here in the first period. Bolden taking a long look at the defense. Will stop and try to throw. Wants to come to his receiver, Ed Hill, or check it. That's Bill Hagan, number 15. He'll get nothing, maybe a yard. It'll be 4th and 4, and they will be forced to punt.
Well, you can see this wind has made it very difficult for Gloucester to pass the ball as time winds down here in the first period. They're playing very safe with the short passing game. Possibly when they turn things around, they can start to look to go on top.
That'll do it for one period of football from Paulsboro in this Group 1 semifinal. The Red Raiders on top of the Lions, 6-0. We'll be back with second quarter football right after these messages. There he is. This guy leads the crowd in cheers. He does a super job, member of the band, but also the guy that gets them all excited. 4th down for Gloucester as Chiotti stands ready to punt. Gets it off, and the wind affecting it and bringing it in the direction of the sideline. Harvey will just look at it and they'll say, we'll take good field position, and it's exactly what they will get, as the ball will be marked at the Paulsboro 48. Let me tell you, Steve, the grounds crew this week was out at Paulsboro and did a super job getting the yard markers etched in and everything. We talked about that a week ago. With the wind today, the side markers wouldn't have lasted because they would have been blowing all over the place. So thanks to the AD and the assistant AD, Frederick and Hershef, and the grounds crew. So let's see what Paulsboro can do this time. They have the 1 touchdown lead. Harvey now will turn, give it to Bradshaw on the deep handoff, and he is hit from behind Rob Clark, number 75, making the stop, and Clark was not handled at all on the block. There is no gain. It is 2nd and 10.
Many times you have your offensive lineman blocking down toward the direction their back will be running. Clark not blocked at all, does a great job of pursuit, catching Bradshaw from behind. We talked about the fact this Gloucester team, it's a very basic, fundamental defense. 5 people up front, your 2 linebackers. The 2 linebackers have a lot of responsibility. They got to get to the ball as quickly as possible.
On the option, Harvey will get yardage. He is taken down by Bulskis. Number 1 making the stop. Harvey, however, gets the ball to the Gloucester 44-yard line, where it'll be 3rd and 3. Hey, Betty Vogening back again. She had her Sterling shirt out last week, crushing it, and you heard her say she's back to being a lady today. Betty's always a lady.
Again, the Lions defense allowing Harvey to get to the outside. These defensive ends, when he runs that option, you've got to force him to pitch the ball. You cannot allow him to run and get himself turned upfield.
On the fake, Harvey now to the left side. He's got to go to get away from Hill. He'll do that. Down the sideline, back to the inside. Let's just watch him. Not bad, huh?
Not bad at all. And again, we're going to be saying it all afternoon. If the Gloucester defensive ends don't get across the line of scrimmage and force him up to the inside, watch the top of your screen. Get a good block. DePietro comes out, and he'll get to the outside there. It's a run-pass option. But in that case, Ed Hill, the defensive end, you cannot allow Harvey to get the outside. Watch the little dip right there. He has a way of getting underneath the tacklers. Such a presence about himself and where he is on the field and where the defensive players are. And then at the last moment, he knows when things aren't good, I'm going to get upfield and get as much yardage as I can.
There is an injured player in the field. Gives us a chance to remind you that today's game is brought to you by Dowdy's Fine Furniture. It is Dowdy's proud tradition of quality, service, and value that has been kept alive since 1946, with one of Southern New Jersey's largest, most beautiful home furnishing showrooms. 43,000 square feet of showroom with over 150 fully decorated and accessorized vignettes. Dowdy's Fine Furniture of Clayton, open Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, 9 to 9, Wednesday, 11 to 5, Saturday, 9 to 5. Dowdy's, a family tradition since 1946.
You know, Mike, going back to last week's ball game and the Sterling-Paulsboro matchup, I really felt that the Sterling team did a nice job of taking Harvey out of the game as far as running the football was concerned. They did a nice job of getting the defensive ends down on the option, making sure that he did pitch the ball, did not have the opportunity to cut the ball back up inside. But, of course, it was his passing ability which really made the difference in that ball game. And throughout the course of this quarter and a half of football that we've had here with Gloucester-Paulsboro, this Gloucester defense, they have not done a good job of taking Kevin Harvey out of the ball game. Already scored 1 touchdown there already in the first quarter, and now being able to pick up good yardage is able to get to the outside on this last play.
A crisp day at Paulsboro, but a great crowd assembled. It was a very late crowd. Last week, the Sterling-Paulsboro game drew close to 4,000 people, and they were here, Steve, an hour before game time. There was not a seat in the house. Today, it did not look like they would come close to matching that, but this crowd, I guess because of the chill, arrived late, and they are all here today, ringing the field once again. And they're going to take more time than we thought, so we'll have a chance to break. It's 6-0. Paulsboro on top, 10:24 remaining to play in the opening half. And reverse, run by Harvey. Harvey's got running room to the outside. Twists, turns, driven out of bounds. But following the timeout for the injury, Glenn Howard decides to try and catch Gloucester thinking too much and run the reverse, and it takes the football down to the 11-yard line where it will be, or 12-yard line where it'll be 2nd and 2.
This is what I really like about this Paulsboro offense. They come at you in so many different directions. The balanced attack, they can run the ball, they can throw the ball, they run the option, they run out of the eye. The 2-receiver approach, they can throw the ball anywhere. And now using their speed on the outside with the reverse really makes it very difficult for a defense.
Harvey in motion. DePietro spins away from the first hit. And once again, Bulskis has to make the tackle. It will be a Paulsboro first down, I believe. That will be the mark. It'll be 1st and goal from the 7-yard line.
Right now, this Paulsboro offense is executing extremely well. Doing a good job up front, containing that initial line of scrimmage, and then you have the backs of DePietro, Bradshaw, and Harvey, who really run hard and get everything that they can.
Harvey looks and sees the end zone and gets there. 7-yard touchdown run, second one of the day for Kevin Harvey. He had an 11-yarder earlier, picks up the second TD here on the option, and read it well, knew he only needed 7, and got it.
Now, defensively, you've got to have a game plan where you stop that man right there, number 8, and if you allow him to get to the outside, it's going to be a long, long day. Again, not knowing how the Gloucester Lion defense is set up to stop the option, but they're really getting themselves caught to the inside, and then it leaves the only players available to come up and make the play are your defensive cornerbacks, and by then it's just going to be too late.
Well, Lucci did not get the extra point last time, so Harvey will bring them out and try to get 2. They'll run the option the other way. Again, he knows what he needs, but he's not going to get it as he is taken down by Joe Johnson. So they fail on both extra points with 9:43 remaining to play in the opening half. Paulsboro on top, 12-0. That was Harvey's 15th touchdown of the year now. And remember, just a sophomore.
Just a sophomore. Certainly a lot more touchdowns ahead of this man's career. Going back to the play where he goes in for his second TD on the day, we talked about the game against Sterling last week, and you would think this Gloucester staff would take a real close look at that game film and watch very closely how that Sterling defense was able to neutralize Kevin Harvey and not allow him to beat that team on the ground, forcing him to have to go up top. But certainly right now, defensively, not executing very well as Harvey's continued to pile up a lot of yardage running the football.
Lucci will tee it up. And, you know, they had last week were concerned as Harvey had injured his finger as part of his hand in the Audubon game. They were very concerned coming in last week. And apparently he's taken a sting on it there. You can see that one finger appears to be swollen.
Very much so. So difficult for a quarterback. Those jams, as they swell up, it's difficult to grip the ball. And we know it's tough to do that today with the weather that we're having. But right now, fortunately for the Paulsboro coaching staff, they haven't had to throw the ball, that they've been able to do as much as they've done so far, getting up here 12-0, doing it on the ground.
Bull stiff. Gone the wrong way. He's gone east to west. He wanted to go north to south. He did a lot of running for naught as he will get the ball only to about the 17-yard line, where Gloucester will try to get something going.
I really look for this Gloucester offense now to start to open things up. This is a team that's got to be able to pass the ball effectively, to be able to move the ball on offense, and it's a team that likes to pass the ball downfield. So far in this ball game, there's a lot of screen passes, a lot of passes out in the flat, but I think as far as throwing the football is concerned, they're going to have be better capable of doing it in the direction they're going now than they did in the first quarter.
Bolton will come on to look into a drain. He shakes off that first hit, but then he's piled on. Let me tell you, Isaac Hardy put his shoulder into him. It didn't take O'Drain down. He picks up his second reception of the day. Bolton, believe it or not, is 4 for 5, but not for much yardage at all.
Well, as I said, in watching the teams in warm-ups, both quarterbacks were definitely more effective and had a lot more zip on the ball going from right to left. And that's the direction, of course, Gloucester's at now. And that ball did have a lot of zip on it.
Gain of 9, 2nd and 1. Chiotti to try to get the first down. He will go forward and get it as he gets the ball to about the 29-yard line. Chiotti had run for over 1,000, in fact 1,030 yards coming into the ball game, had run for over 900 yards a year ago. And of course had scored 24 TDs, 148 points, leading the scoring race in South Jersey before today's action. Bolden wants to throw to a drain going downfield. He's got it. They will not catch him. Runner drain for the touchdown. A 71-yard touchdown pass from Kevin Bolden, his 12th of the year, to Ron O'Drain, who gets his 7th of the year.
That is a perfectly executed play. We said again that this team's going to have to throw the ball. They're going to have to throw the ball downfield. And in 3 plays, they go over 80 yards for the score. And I don't know if we'll have the opportunity to see it on the replay, but Bolden makes that play happen. He looks off the receiver to the right-hand side. O'Drain, who is being bumped to the line of scrimmage, gets beyond the defender. Bolden turns, puts the ball right where it had to be, and then Bolden goes the distance.
Ed Hill has successfully converted 25 this year. This appears to be his 26th, and it is. We'll take a look at the touchdown.
Bolden's lined up on the left-hand side. Watch. O'Drain lined up on the left hand. Bolden turns to the right, then turns to the left, and he zips that ball right in between the defenders. And then the defenders actually knock themselves out of the play, but no one is going to catch O'Drain as he goes down the sidelines for the score. And that gets this Gloucester team right back in the ball game. They got to now turn it over to their defense, and their defense is going to have to come up big. Not only does it get them back in the ball game, of course, so on the scoreboard, but it also gets them back in it psychologically. If they had been stopped there and forced to turn the ball back over to Paulsboro and allow Paulsboro to go in to score, this game would have been just about over. They show a lot of character in terms of fighting right back, getting the quick score, and now they want to get back out there and take control of this game on the defensive side of the ball also.
That was the 8th touchdown pass of the year thrown by Bolden, over 40 yards.
Well, I said they do like to throw the ball downfield. They love to run fade patterns to the corner. And you can see that you have a quarterback and a receiver who have spent a lot of time working together. They know each other very well. They know how, certainly O'Drain is the kind of receiver that knows how to get himself open. And Bolden, only the sophomore, knows how to get the ball there.
Ed Hill on the kick. It will go out of bounds, and Paulsboro will be in good field position at their own 35. Bolden now 5 for 6 on the day with the touchdown. Came in 56 for 96, over 1,000 yards in the air to complement Chiote's 1,000 on the ground. And that is what has proven so successful for them in every game except the one with Salem.
Absolutely. Of course, a tough loss to Salem earlier in the year, 20-14 loss. And of course, that was the difference. Salem went ahead and won the Tri-County Classic Division title. Gloucester only 1 game behind with 1 loss.
Illegal procedure on the kicking team. We're going to re-kick.
There was an illegal procedure, however, and there'll be a penalty, so they will get the re-kick. You can see everybody bundled up here. It's not the temperature, it's the wind, and you can hear it blowing here at Paulsboro. Gotta be 40 miles an hour side to side.
Of course, the Paulsboro coaching staff electing and forcing Gloucester to re-kick. This is where they are so explosive. They know they can score very quickly on a kickoff return.
Mike Bell will not get anything but maybe 4 or 5 as Burkhart, or check it. So now Paulsboro will try to answer. With 8:05 and the clock running, the Red Raiders now will have 1st and 10 from their 36-yard line. Harvey to DePietro. DePietro steps his way through and is up close to a 1st down. Depending on the spot, he will either be 2 or 3 inches shy, or he has it by 2 or 3 inches.
2 fine linebackers on the Gloucester defense, and Hancock and Chiote got fooled on that play as they got caught inside the line of scrimmage and allowed DePietro to get beyond that interior front, and there were no linebackers there as they were stunning on the inside, and DePietro able to pick up good yardage very close to that 1st down. We hear Glenn Howard talking to his defensive secondary men on the sideline, and there you see him.
How can you said you heard 3 and you're up 5 yards? I didn't cover 3.
Start moving back and snap the ball.
Well, then run all the way with it. If you're in 3, go deep thirds. Don't be in between.
Now they're talking about first third, second third, and third third, and who is supposed to be deep. As DePietro gets a huge hole on the trap, and Eric has the ball down in the Gloucester territory, has it to the Lion 36-yard line, and that trap inside opened up big time.
And this has been the story of this ball game, not being able to stop the run. And then when you allow the fullback to get off the ball like this, good fire out blocking, and they turn the hole on that right-hand side. Brian Peck, the right guard, was able to turn a defensive tackle to the inside and really open up a nice hole for DePietro.
Harvey to Bradshaw, nothing doing. Bradshaw initially hit by John Hancock.
Well, they can't just afford to do that only on one play. Hancock and Chiotti have got to take control of things on the inside. They got to get better penetration out of their front 3 interior linemen, and that's something that they have not been able to do successfully here throughout the course of this first half.
So it will be 2nd and 10. Backs open. It'll be the draw to Bradshaw. Again, he spins away from the first tackler and finally gets downfield and stopped by Walt Mader, but not before he is over the 30-yard line down to about the 27, where it will be 3rd and a short 2.
Leon Harrison and his coaching staff are not going to be happy when they look back on these films at the number of opportunities that the defense have had as they meet these running backs at the line of scrimmage but are not able to bring them down. DePietro runs hard, Bradshaw runs hard, Ruffin in there at tailback, and of course Harvey, the fine runner he is.
Ruffin, Artis Ruffin drags 2 or 3 of the Lions forward. Ed Hill at the bottom holding on to the legs, but not until Artis has the first down. Ruffin, a junior, 6 foot, 175 pounds, is the author of 8 touchdowns so far this season.
Well, the Paulsboro offense has really been led by that front 4 or 5 of Davis, Peck, Weber, Lucci, and Hampton. Do a super job of just firing off the ball. There's nothing fancy. They come right at you. And if your defensive front doesn't get in there and make penetration, it's going to be a long day.
DePietro again finds a hole on the right side. Is taken down by Bill Hagan, number 15, but DePietro's got to love what he's seeing up front on the right side. Matt Davis, number 78, he goes 275 pounds, and Brian Peck, number 62, doing the job at guard and tackle, opening that hole. 5-minute mark right now, 12-7. Paulsboro trying to answer the touchdown that Gloucester got on the last series. So we'll go with Artis Ruffin on the counter play to the left side, and he's going to be close to and appears to have another first down.
Well, right now, Gloucester is not there ready to make the tackles until these running backs get a good 3 and 4 yards downfield. They've got to start getting across the line of scrimmage. These backs are coming at them full speed. There's no one there to slow them up at all, and then they make contact and pick up the extra 2 and 3 yards each time they're hit.
3rd and inches. Harvey makes a mistake here, and it is read perfectly by Walt Mader, but Mader apparently makes a mistake also, as there is a face mask penalty going to be assessed. That was a big play, a big turning around. Mark this one down. It was a mistake on the play, but then a mistake by the defender.
Well, Mader comes hard at the top of your screen. He's coming all the way. He's unblocked. He's able to get in there on the play, but watch, the right hand grabs the face mask, and you'll see the flags coming in all directions there.
Oh, does that hurt?
Mader knows it right away. So instead of a 3rd down and very long,
We have face mask on the defense, half the distance to the goal. We're going to have a first down.
Well, they only needed inches, Steve, and I thought maybe if Harvey kept it at all, it would be straight ahead. It even looked to me as if he called a play and decided on his own. I know he has that freedom to try and fool everybody and run the naked run to the outside by himself. And he gets away with it because of the penalty.
Oh, you said it. When we look back at this ball game, that could be a very key play. Gloucester's able to stop them here. At least they stay within one touchdown.
First and goal. Artis Ruffin struggles down to about the 1 yard line. Taken down by Mike Collins. They'll mark it back. They'll bring it back a yard to the 2. Bradshaw and Ruffin both going to stay in the ball game now. So they will go with the power I formation. Or I'm sorry, the full house formation. Full house backfield. It'll be DePietro who makes the end zone. 2-yard touchdown run for Eric DePietro, and they've answered the touchdown. So wonderfully run by Gloucester earlier. So they had a few moments of excitement on the Gloucester side, and it has been blunted somewhat by that touchdown run of DePietro's.
Well, there's nothing fancy in this offensive attack, and Glenn Howard, as upset as he was on the sideline with his defensive secondary allowing that long pass play, he's got to be very happy with his offense as they step onto the field and they take control back in this ball game with a very impressive drive, keeping the ball on the ground, getting a good surge by that offensive front. And so far throughout the course of this ball game have looked almost unstoppable every time they get their hands on the ball.
Harvey is not going to be able to get rid of the football, and this again will be no good. So it will remain 18-0. Let's take a look, or 18-7. Let's take a look at the touchdown.
Nothing fancy. You see DePietro in the middle there of that full house backfield. They turn. He's going to follow Bradshaw up on the inside, and it's just hard running as he's probably met at about the 1 yard line, but he got that momentum going. He runs over the tackler and goes in for the score.
18-7, the home team on top. We'll be back. Lucci preparing to kick off. Standing deep will be Michael Burkhart and Derek Bulskis. It will be Bulskis. Looking for the hole up the middle. There was one there temporarily, but he was unable to get to it. I thought he was going to find that opening, Steve. It was about 15 yards wide, but finally grabbed and taken down. Chilly group here today. Found the blankets on their way to the ball field today.
I'll look for Gloucester come out with a 2-minute drill with just about 3 minutes left in this ball game. They can't afford to sit back and let it run out. They've got to look to score.
There will be a penalty flag. Apparently someone lined up in the neutral zone.
We had dead ball, encroachment, defense, still first down.
2:58 remaining to play here in the opening half. 5 yards assessed against the Raiders. 1st and 5. Let's see what Kevin Bolden does here. Wants the throw. He wants O'Drain. Not unusual. O'Drain grabbed and taken down by Greg Harvey, but he will have a Gloucester first down and got out of bounds, it appears, to stop the clock at 2:35.
Well, Paulsboro knows that this Gloucester Lion team is going to put the ball in the air, looking to get that score real quick, so they're going to loosen up a little bit on the corners, but you can't get too loose. This is a team, as we said, it's used to putting the ball in the air. They have a great passing attack, so they got to be as aggressive as they possibly can.
Chiotti in motion. Bolden on the sprint out. Has Chiotti, but he cannot reach back far enough to get the football, and Frisbee tattooed him a little bit in the back to give him a message. So it'll be 2nd and 10.
Chiotti is the motion man. He comes along the line of scrimmage, If he doesn't get the ball right away, he's going to break up field and try to get in between the two defensive backs, which he was able to do. Bolden going to his left on the rollout. Always tough for that quarterback going to the left to turn them shoulders and get that ball upfield. Gets a lot of zip on the ball, but just a little bit behind Chiotti.
Slot formation now to the near side. Bill Hagan along with O'Drain. Going to be the draw to Chiotti. Finds an initial hole, but it is covered well, and he may get 2 yards out of it when they move the ball forward to the spot. Peck on the bottom of the pile, 62. Clock will continue to run.
That's the one problem that the Gloucester Lion team has, is they don't have the kind of back that gets to the hole real quick. Chiotti is a good, hard running back, almost out of the fullback mold, but it does take him a while to get to the hole there. There was a hole on the right-hand side, but only able to pick up 1 yard before the defense was able to close that down.
Long count. Flood split one way, O'Drain the other. Straight back, plenty of time, cross the middle, has his man. It'll be a first down as Mater is able to hold on and get the ball to the Paulsboro 40-yard line.
Mater, the tight end, goes down 10 yards. He just hooks up. Nice pass by Bolden as the defense was there. Now, right now, Gloucester's got to get in and out of that huddle very quickly.
.125 with the clock running. Bolden looks upfield. It's going to be handled and caught. Bill Hagan is able to get it. 7th completion out of 8 attempts so far today for Bolden. Bill Hagan was behind the defender Artis Ruffin, who looked like he was thinking interception.
Oh, that's a great play there. Bolden with the throw, Hagan with the reception, and good defense by the Paulsboro secondary. Ruffin is there. Ball tips off of Ruffin's hands. Hagan's able to bring it down and hold on to the ball. And Gloucester has called timeout to stop the clock. This is a team that works very hard on their passing game. All these players that are out there offensively have great hands. We said the fact that Bolden, a fine sophomore quarterback, he can get the ball there. And these receivers do a good job of going up and coming down with these receptions.
And he has been spreading it out now. It looked like he was thinking primarily O'Drain, but that pass to Mater across the middle for the first down to keep the drive alive was so important. The tight end getting his first reception of the day, and now Hagan getting his first reception.
Well, now the Gloucester Lion team is in a position, as Leon Harris talking to his troops out there goes off the field, where they can now take their time. Try to throw for the end zone. They can work the flats.
They will go to a slot formation in the near side. Drew Carpenter, number 9 in the ball game. O'Drain is the wide receiver. Chiotti is in motion. May have thrown that one away.
A lot of pressure up on the inside. Bolden doesn't take a big run, a deep drop. He likes to take about a 3 and 4 step drop and get rid of the ball, and a lot of times he gets caught up on the pressure from that interior defensive front. I think that's what happened there, is he wasn't able to get a lot of zip on the ball.
111 remaining here in the first half. 18-7, Paulsboro on top. Gloucester looking for momentum to get into the halftime locker room. Bolden will slip and go down as he received pressure. DePietro had come. Mike Bell had come. Hampton had come, and Hampton got the tackle, and Gloucester calls another timeout with 1:02 showing on the clock. We'll be back with the final minute and 2 seconds in the opening half right after these words. Third and 15 for Gloucester. 1:02 remaining in this half. Bolden to throw. Oh, is he hit? Oh, Brian Peck. Oh, Brian Peck. Oh, Brian Peck makes the hit here. Big play.
And a fumble on the play. It looks like Gloucester was able to come up with it, but you are absolutely right. Bolden takes his quick drop. He turns and looks to throw the ball, and number 62 is staring him right in the face. Up in the air, would not allow Bolden to get that ball off, and Gloucester's going to have to use its final timeout.
Let's take a look.
It'll have a 4th down and very long. Look for number 62 to come flying in here, gets off his block, gets the hands up, and then he's all over Bolden. The ball pops out. Gloucester's able to recover. But a fine defensive play from that inside defensive line.
Becca Jr., 5'11", 185 pounds. He and Matt Davis and Mike Bell, the middle three, have just been so strong and have allowed Bradshaw and Miller and Irvin and Harvey and the other defenders in the backfield to make so many tackles all season long. Hampton just anchors the left side at end, and DePietro's been a stellar performer at the defensive end on the right side. But that is a big-time play, making it 4th and 20 with 36 seconds remaining here in the opening half. The pressure on Kevin Bolden. He will not handle the football either way, no matter who's on top of it. It will be Red Raider football as Mike Bell comes up with the fumble recovery, and Gloucester will not get that momentum-giving touchdown here at the end of the half. 34 seconds remaining. The Red Raiders have the football.
This is a big series offensively for this Gloucester team. When you get down on the 15-yard line, 1st down and 10, time was not a factor. 1 minute and 15 left in the half. They had the time that they needed. They had their 3 timeouts to get that score in there, and then to get pushed back 15 yards and not able to move the football once you get that close. It's certainly going to be very disheartening for this offensive club. And as you said, they're not going to be able to take that momentum in at halftime.
Harvey says they don't have any timeouts. We'll just let it go. That'll do it as he kneels down. They'll count down the final 10 seconds here in the opening half. It's been a good one. Gloucester answered the charge for the touchdown, but Paulsboro came back, got one to counter that, and then the Lions turned away right here in the final minute of the opening half. 18-7. The home team, Paulsboro on top. We'll be back with second half football right after these messages. Second half football from Paulsboro, South Jersey Group 1 semifinal. Paulsboro on top, 18-7. Mike Lindner along with Steve Crispin. These two teams vying to get the opportunity to move on to the finals, which will be held a couple of weeks. Lucci's kick is going to go out of bounds. As watching it was Derek Bulskis.
Gloucester had deferred in the first half after winning the toss. They've elected to receive in the second half, and fortunately for them, they have what little wind there is. It could be behind your back to their back now. Of course, the wind is very strong, anywhere between 30 and 40 miles an hour, but kind of crawling across the field. But certainly Gloucester.
We have illegal
half,
procedure on the kicking team. They've elected to take the ball 1st down on the 35.
Gloucester much more effective going from right to left in the first half in terms of being able to throw the football. They've got to come out right now and establish there and get their offense in gear. Look to get a quick score, get themselves back in this ball game against this very explosive Red Raider attack.
Bolden was 6 for 8 in the first half, including the touchdown to O'Drain. Chiotti, who has really struggled today, has not given us the running performance that the fans are used to seeing from that young man. Gets nothing here. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Well, this Paulsboro front line has dominated on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively. And you see that a lot in high school. When you have an offensive front that's firing off and dominating, you usually see the same thing on the defensive side of the ball. And right now they're getting good penetration and make it almost impossible for Gloucester to do anything on the ground.
Bolden with a long count will turn, fake, look upfield. In the middle again, he's wide open. Gets it to Mater. Second catch of the day for Mater. And both times it's been on that pattern. And both times successful. Will be a Gloucester 1st down. If you notice that defensive adjustment right before the snap of the ball from Paulsboro, they came up and played bump and run and left the middle wide open. The tight end should have been covered by a linebacker and wasn't.
Well, the play action fake also held the linebackers, which enabled Mater to get himself downfield and free himself up. Bolden, only the sophomore, does a real nice job of reading the defense and finding the open receiver.
Again, Bolden to throw. Has it Hill, or Bill Hagan, check it. Hagan, number 15. Not Hill, number 85. Hagan gets the catch and picks up another Lion first down.
I don't think Hagan was the primary receiver that time. He went down about 5 yards and just kind of dragged across the middle. Bolden looking to the right first, then finds Hagan. And Hagan, once he got the ball, was able to get himself upfield to pick up that first down.
At the 27-yard line. He wants to throw it again. He can. He pumps. Now he fakes and throws to O'Drain. It goes off of his shoulder pad. So now 8 for 11 throwing is Kevin Bolden. At 11 TDs coming into today, has thrown the one so far to Ron O'Drain, the only Gloucester school. Howard trying to get the secondary reorganized. They put in an additional defensive back now. It will be the draw to Chiotti, and nothing doing here as Hampton recovered well from the defensive end position to make the stop, and that may be a good play for Hampton because Paulsboro's linebackers were in disarray. They didn't know exactly what they were supposed to be doing.
It's a good call against that defense. You mentioned the fact the linebackers are having a very difficult time setting themselves. Going into the nickel again type defense where you bring in that extra defensive back. If Chiotti had gotten past Hampton, there was a lot of running room.
From the I formation, 3rd and 9. He'll fake to Chiotti. Now look for O'Drain. It's going to be open again. O'Drain gets rid of the first man and is finally dragged down. Tackle credited to Brett Faraday, number 13, who's in there on his first defensive plays of the afternoon. It'll be another Gloucester first down.
Well, they're giving O'Drain a lot of room. They have to respect his ability to get deep and not wanting to allow that to happen. They give a lot of room in front. And O'Drain goes down, hooks up beyond the first down stakes, makes the reception, is able to hold on and pick up that first.
Ball marked at the 15-yard line, 1st and 10. Herrera will get into the end zone. Touchdown, Gloucester. Paul Herrera, 15-yard touchdown run from the fullback position. He ran the ball 3 times in the opening first drive and has not touched it until now since then.
Well executed play. The passing game setting up the running game. They spread the field. Paulsboro coming with their linebackers up the middle looking to put pressure on Bolden, thinking that he might be looking to pass. They turn with the quick trap up the middle. Herrera, once he broke through that initial line of scrimmage, there's nobody there and he's able to take it in for the score.
And now with the 1 point already on the extra point, they will attempt to get 2. There will be a timeout called by Paulsboro as Glenn Howard saw Gloucester come out. Herrera really got some speed going there.
You get the stunt up the middle, and as you can see, once he breaks through to the left-hand side, the initial tackles at the line of scrimmage, unable to bring him down. He gets into the secondary, and with everyone spread to the wide parts of the field looking for the pass, he goes up the middle easily for the score.
Pretty good call, whoever made that one on the Gloucester sideline.
Well, you got to try to keep this Paulsboro defense honest. You do not want to allow them to key on the passing game, allow them to get that good surge. And if you can establish some sort of running game, it will certainly benefit this Gloucester offense. And certainly Leon Harris has got to be very happy right now. You see Glenn Howard talking to his defense. Certainly he's got to be a little concerned. Things look to be very much in hand as they went in at halftime, but this Gloucester team, they made a few adjustments. They got the ball, they got the wind, and they were able to move the ball very quickly here in the 3rd period to get themselves right back in this game.
Herrera and Chiotti behind Bolden in the eye as they go for 2. O'Drain has it.
Nothing fancy, a little 5-yard square out. Had man-to-man coverage over here on the left-hand side. The Gloucester Lion team, they see that, they take advantage of it. 18-15 right now. And now Gloucester has picked up a little bit of the momentum that they've needed, but now it comes down to what has been the key in this ball game so far, as they will now come out on defense and whether or not they can stop this fine Paulsboro running game. Every time they've gone down and scored some quick points, Paulsboro's come back and been very effective moving the ball on the ground, and we will have to see what sort of adjustments Leon Harris and his coaching staff have made on the defensive side.
Now they are a field goal behind, and Ed Hill, their outstanding kicker, Steve, has kicked 2 field goals this year. And remember, if that were to occur and it ended that way, one exciting thing about playoff day is overtime.
Of course, we're hoping that we can avoid overtime so we don't have to explain
the criteria,
all the rules that are associated with overtime, but it certainly is a very exciting part of the playoff system.
Ed Hill to kick off for the Lions. Artis Ruffin and Greg Harvey will be the deep receivers for Paulsboro. It will go to Ruffin. Picks it up at his 10. Looking for running room, and it's not going to happen.
Well, this is the same emotion we saw after their first touchdown. Pretty much the same results on the kickoff, but it did not carry over to the defense. We talked about adjustments that might have to be made on the defensive side of the ball. I think number one is they have got to stop Kevin Harvey and his running game. They got to force him in the option to pitch the ball. They cannot allow him to continue to get to the outside. Unofficially, we figured that Harvey only threw 1 pass in the first half, was not complete, so they did it all on the ground.
Bradshaw will get a few yards, but the fans surely on the Gloucester side have come alive, and it appears that the team is playing with a little more enthusiasm following that touchdown drive. There will be, in fact, a gain of 5. It'll be 2nd and 5.
A lot of concern on the Paulsboro sidelines, and this is a big defensive series. You would love to be able to force them to have to punt the ball, get the ball back with that wind, if there is any, at your back. They've been very effective, that being Gloucester, moving the ball offensively going in this direction.
Harvey to throw. Plenty of time. Going down the middle. As Mike Bell can't hold on. Oh, Bell had a chance to go all the way. And the tight end is unable to make the reception.
Well, that's the first time we've seen the Paulsboro team throw the ball downfield. We were beginning to wonder if maybe Kevin Harvey and the effects of the sore finger would neutralize their fine passing game, but Harvey with that patented deep drop, he steps up and he has a lot of zip on this ball. Bell had gotten behind the defense and that ball was right there on the numbers, and he has the chance of going all the way if he's able to make that reception, bring up a 3rd down, about 6. Again, a big defensive play for the Gloucester defense.
Harvey to keep the football. Oh, is he racked? He doesn't go down though until 3 more of the Gloucester players hit him. Rob Clark, number 75, made the initial hit, but as we saw early in the ball game, 1 hit is not enough to bring Greg Harvey down.
Absolutely. Very close to breaking that one, and that time the defensive end on that side, Walt Mader did a very good job in not allowing Harvey to get to the outside. He forces him up to the inside, and that's where the defensive pursuit was able to catch up with him.
Lucci to kick. No pressure. Knocks it downfield. It is handled and picked up by O'Drain. And there's a penalty. It looks like Chiotti was going to be hit for an illegal block. And instead of being in outstanding field position, Gloucester will simply be in good field position.
And I don't think the Gloucester coaching staff is going to be happy about this call. They're going to probably call for him for blocking
below the knees?
Either in the back or below the knees. We'll wait to see what the call's going to be, but it did look like a good block. It was in front of the defensive player. The running back was cutting up behind Chiotti. A lot of times that will happen when they cut opposite where the block is being made. As we'll get the call now.
Ed Smith, the referee.
We have a clip on the run back. Still 1st down.
From what I could see here, it looked like a situation almost where the defensive player actually turned his back as opposed to blocking in the back, but whatever being the case, it will be 1st down. Gloucester was able to do what they had to do defensively. They got the ball back. There's still a lot of time here left in the third period.
Bolden who looked so good on the last drive. Will try to throw again. Again in the middle. He hits his tight end one more time. And I'm telling you what, Walt Mader with his third reception, and all three have been big ones.
Oh, they have, and this is such a fine core of receivers. Bolton knows all he has to do is get the ball into a position where his receivers can get their hands on it, and they will come down with it. Good defense there. Good drop by the linebacker corps of Paulsboro. But just giving him enough room for Bolton to get the ball in there. Mader holds on, and there's another big first down.
Penalty flag. Somebody lined up offsides. Linesman comes in to explain this one to Bill Smith, not Ed Smith.
Dead ball foul, encroachment, defense, still first down.
I think DePietro, when he decided to go from the 2-point to the 3-point, got down and the knuckles leaned over the neutral zone.
Hey, defense, suck it up!
1st and 5 from the 35-yard line of Paulsboro. Chiotti looks for a hole off right tackle. Hampton gets it, but Jason carries him close to a first down as he picks up 5 or 6 yards on that play. First really big hole Chiotti's seen all afternoon.
Well, we'll say it again. This is a situation in which you have a passing game setting up the running game. Paulsboro defensively is so concerned with what Gloucester can do in the air and what they've been able to do in the air so far this ball game. It has really loosened up things on the inside for their running game.
They quickly get Mac Davis back in. Chiotti to the outside. Finally driven out of bounds by Eric Frisbee.
That particular play, right there, is a lot of confusion on the Paulsboro defense right now. Drain was the wide receiver to the right-hand side. There was no one guarding him that time. The defensive secondary, very confused. They're trying to go back and forth into a pass-type, prevent-type defense. They're now sending their front line back in, try to get a little bit more strength up front. And they continue to give O'Drain a lot of room one-on-one to that wide side of the field.
Greg Harvey has the responsibility to cover O'Drain one-on-one. They're going to look over here, however, and it's going to be handled by Hagan. Hagan makes another reception, his third.
Well, they've tried a lot of different things. They brought their corners up. They've tried to play bump and run. That has not been effective because that freed up the tight end on the inside. Again, very quick drop by Bolden. He's does a nice job of stepping up and firing. These core receivers, as I said, excellent hands in this cold weather. But again, keep an eye on O'Drain at the top with that one-on-one coverage.
Bolden has to throw it. O'Drain's in the end zone, will not get to it. Covered by Harvey. But Bolden does a pretty good job of escaping pressure and getting a chance to throw the football.
Oh, you're right. It was a good opportunity for the Paulsboro defense to come up with a big play to take Bolden down for the loss. Bolden bumps to the outside, just a little bit off the mark.
2nd and 10 from the 15. Hagan split to the left, O'Drain to the right. A double fake. Bolden wants to keep it football, but Hampton says you're going nowhere but down. Hampton is a load, and he uses that strength, 6'3", 190 pounds, and all muscle. So it'll be a loss of 3. It'll be 3rd and 13.
Well, this reminds you of the first half when Gloucester got down in this position, 1st down and 10. The ball inside the 20 was not able to score. Now 3rd down and long. They're going to get a good rush up on the inside.
Again, looking for O'Drain. The ball is knocked loose one more time. Mike Bell with super pressure on Kevin Bolden.
Now Bolden was looking for O'Drain in the left-hand corner of the end zone. But again, without that deep drop, only going about 3 and 4 yards, if you do get a good surge on the inside, they're in your face, and it makes it very difficult to pass. And again, as we had in the first half, 4th down, 13 to go. A great opportunity for Gloucester to put themselves ahead in this ball game.
O'Drain goes right this time. Hagan out 15 yards to the left. Glenn Howard really upset, some defensive problems, looking for Hagan. He'll get it. No, he will not make the reception in any event. The ball will go to Paulsboro, whether it was complete or not. So the Red Raiders, even with the confusion defensively, excite their fans as they turn away the Gloucester charge.
Well, that's what Glenn Howard was saying. He wanted his cornerback to come up and get on Hagan. Somewhere they saw the read where it was going to be that quick slant across the middle, and that's exactly what we saw. Defensively, they were there, and as you said, even if Hagan had been able to hold on, it would not have been enough for the first down. So now it will be up to this Gloucester defense, as the offense is not able to take it in to score, to look to shut down this Paulsboro Red Raider team as they take over.
4:41 remaining to play in the third. 3-point lead, 18-15. Paulsboro still on top. DePietro, forget it, says Gloucester. They just stand him up, and coming also from the secondary is Mike Dinges. So they're assuming, I guess, that they're not going to worry at this point about Harvey throwing the football. He's only put it up in the air twice.
Absolutely. We were surprised in the first half that they weren't able to do a better job against the run. You do want to try to force Harvey to go up top, especially going in this direction. Although he was able to throw a nice pass in the last series, I think primarily you got to stop him as a runner and force them to put the ball in the air if we can.
Harvey keeps it here on the option, goes to Ruffin. Ruffin turns upfield and really struggles, looking to get the ball over the 25, and does. We'll have the ball at the 26 and be very close to a first down.
Although Ruffin got good yardage on the pitch, as they'll stop for a measurement, defensively Gloucester played it the way they have to now in the second half. You've got to take Kevin Harvey out. You got to force him to throw the ball if at all possible. Looks like they may just be just a little bit short. Nice job, though, running that option to the left-hand side. Harvey reads it with the pitch with the left hand. Ruffin taking it and getting up the sidelines.
So they will bring it in with the chains to measure it, to make sure that the measurement is exact. Tell you what, they're all here, the veteran observers. I'll tell you, this crowd, from the youngest kids to the senior citizens, are out supporting Paulsboro today.
Well, the communities of Paulsboro and Gloucester have really rallied around these programs.
Harvey again trying to get outside, and does. Turns upfield, and I'll tell you what, I don't like that play. It almost cost him in the first time he ran it, but the face mask saved him. This time he does it and gets the first down.
I don't know if we'll get a chance to see on the replay, Mike. That was a quarterback sneak.
Yeah.
He actually was looking to go over between center and right guard. He dipped in, and at the last second saw something out of the corner eye, decided to go to the outside, but just such an outstanding runner. In all likelihood, should have been brought down for a 5-yard loss. But Hagan, not able to make the play, allows Harvey to get to the outside, and he picks up the yardage for the first down. But I think you're absolutely right. You love to see. Watching dip to the right side. Looks like he's going to run a quarterback sneak right there. The hole gets closed down, so he bumps to the outside. And if Hagan's able to close it down there and force him back up to the inside, it'll go down for about a 10-yard loss. But there is the speed and the fine running ability of Harvey.
Credit Greg Harvey with not throwing the block, though. That would have been a clip. Artis Ruffin with an explosion of speed has to be handled by Mike Dinges in the secondary, and he will pick up 9. It'll be 2nd and 1 as they approach midfield, ball marked at the 48-yard line of Paulsboro.
Now this continues to be the story of this ball game, this fine running attack by the Red Raiders. Outstanding job up front, running backs who run hard. It's a balanced attack, so you cannot concentrate on any one runner.
Harvey to throw from the slot formation. Goes deep, the man is there. Oh, Giorgiani stopped running. The tight end, Ron Giorgiani, had the pattern, was open, and hesitated and stopped for a step or two, was unable to run under it.
Now you see it so often with young receivers. Once they get into the open area, they like to hook up there and try to wait for the ball to be thrown to them. Kevin Harvey reading. Giorgiani would be going deep and continue to working his way upfield. You can see Coach Glenn Howard, a little bit of concern on his face as this Gloucester team has fought back in this ball game. Certainly a lot different than a week ago in the big game against Sterling, and really which his ball club was in control from the very beginning.
Again, they will go slot to the top of the screen. Harvey drops it and has to pick it up and try to get back to the first down yardage, and I believe got it. So credit him one more time.
What a presence of a young quarterback as he drops back, dropping the ball, picking it up, knowing what he had to only pick up about a yard for a first down, fights his way back upfield and picks up the necessary yardage for the first.
Now the ball moves just slightly into Gloucester territory at the Lion 49-yard line. 2:02 remaining to play here in the third period with the clock running. Giorgiani will move to the opposite side. Gloucester with a little confusion in their adjustment. It will be Artis Ruffin off left tackle. Look at Ruffin go. That's another Paulsboro first down. They handled Mater, the defensive end, that time.
Well, it's nothing fancy out of that I formation. Ruffin's about 7 or 8 yards off the ball. They love to get it to him and let him read where the hole was going to be. This offensive front line, they fire out. They find the first man that they can, and they try to drive him as far into the secondary as they can. And they continue to be an effective offensive team running the football.
Again, the switch of the tight end. And again they go. This time they're going to come to it. They may have fooled the defensive end Mater last play or gotten him. They did not get him this time.
Paulsboro coaching staff looking for a face mask there as they do come to the tight end side, so that means they're coming to Mater's side. He plays it very well, taking on the block, fighting off the block, able to get in there and make the initial contact, and then the pursuit of the rest of that Gloucester defense able to come in there and finish off the play.
There was a loss of 1. It'll be 2nd and 11. The ball at the 35-yard line of Gloucester. The draw to Ruffin. Ruffin looks for the hole. He finds it. Gets downfield, picks up about 7. And the Lions appear to have an injured player down. This will hold things up. Gives us a chance to remind you that today's game is brought to you by Dowdy's Fine Furniture. With home and office furniture, over 24 desk styles in stock. In-store or in-home decorating service available. Complete bedding department. Free delivery within a 50-mile radius with a minimum purchase of $500. Major credit cards accepted and other financing available. That's Dowdy's Fine Furniture of Clayton. A family tradition since 1946. Open Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday 9 to 9, Wednesday 11 to 5, and Saturday 9 to 5.
You know, Mike, we talk about the fine job that Glenn Howard and his staff do as far as coaching his Paulsboro football team. As we look back on this game, another key for them offensively is they don't make mistakes. Not a lot of penalties. We've had no holding penalties, very few offside penalties. They do not put themselves in a position where they have 2nd down and very long, 1st down and very long, and no turnovers, no interceptions, no fumbles. And they're the little things that can make a difference in a ball game.
A lot of concern being shown here for the injured player. We haven't gotten the number yet. 32 seconds remaining to play here in the third period. 18 to 15. The home team, Paulsboro, on top. We're going to break for these messages. We'll be back with more football from Paulsboro right after these words. Paul Herrera was the injured Gloucester player. He finally went off under his own power. And we'll start action 3rd and 5. Harvey to throw the football. Looking downfield for Giorgiani, I believe, and he is unable to get there. So it will be a 4th and 5 with 23 seconds remaining here in this period.
Gloucester with a little adjustment defensively, went man-to-man coverage on all the wide receivers, had everybody up in the line of scrimmage to try to take away the run. With Paulsboro trying to run a little bit of a inside-out move on the right-hand side, tight end going down about 5 yards, breaking to the outside and upfield. Ball thrown just a little bit too soon. Giorgiani not able to read the reception.
Brian Nevis and Greg Harvey will be in the slot to the right side. Harvey will run the option in that direction. Now toss it to Artis Ruffin. Ruffin is got to really go to get a first down, and he isn't. So Gloucester stiffens, and the Lions will take over. I do not believe he got to the first down territory in any event.
Bring him in.
That's great to say. They're going to bring the chains over. I may have called it too soon.
Well, again, that time on the option, Gloucester plays it very well. They make the hit on Harvey, forcing him to pitch the ball. We're going to see it right here. But it's so important for the defensive cornerbacks to come up. Once you take the quarterback out of the play, your cornerback's got to get upfield as quickly as they can because it's their responsibility to take away the pitch man.
Wouldn't it be something if the way the ball is turned denies them the first? You're listening to Bill Smith.
Well, certainly a big call right now.
There it is. Big point in the ball game.
All right, a first down.
They got it. How about that? Just get it.
You got the clock.
Well, Ruffin was hit about 2 or 3 yards short of the first down, as we do have another Gloucester player who's down on the field and being attended to. He's hit about 2 or 3 yards prior to getting the first, but the extra effort, he fights for it, reaches out there and gets the ball just far enough to pick up that first down and keep this drive alive.
Now, Michael Tinges, 45, was injured player. He will have to go off, the strong player in the secondary for the Lions. 13 seconds remaining to play here in this period. They'll wind the clock as soon as they get the injured player off. So, Red Raiders in no hurry. I think they're going to wait and let it run down. That's the signal from the coaches on the sideline. They want to talk about it, apparently. They do not get the play off. That'll do it for 3 quarters from Gloucester. South Jersey Group 1 semifinal. They'll start the 4th period with a 1st and 10, Paulsboro. Important drive for the home club here. Bradshaw, there will be a penalty flag, possibly face mask or hold. Hold, I think, is the call. Yes, that will hurt the Raiders.
Well, Mater had made good penetration on the right-hand side. Bell was trying to block him. Got the arm out just a little bit too much. We had talked about before, it's not a team that gets many penalties, but this will be a big one on first down. It'll take them back 10 yards from the spot of the foul, which was really in the backfield. So it'll be very costly for Paulsboro.
I have a hold on the offense. Still first down.
I was just thinking that Gloucester right now has to be thinking big play. Either a big stoppage here on this series or create the turnover.
1st and 23 from the 35-yard line. Harvey with a deep drop. Looking to the end zone. The man is there. He cannot get it. Greg Harvey.
Well, there's one where probably the wind certainly had an effect on that throw. Harvey throwing to Harvey deep in the left-hand corner, and the wind is blowing very strong from the opposite side of the field toward the Paulsboro sidelines, and that ball just seemed to tail just at the end as Harvey was wide open in that deep left-hand corner.
They've got to get to the 12-yard line. It is 2nd and 23.
Well, if you're the Gloucester coaching staff, you don't like to see a guy that wide open with 20 yards to go for the first down.
Harvey to the middle of the field looking for his cousin again, and Greg is unable to hold on. So it will be 3rd and 23.
That's a nice call in that situation with 2nd down and better than 20 yards to go for the first. You're not looking to get it all. Let's get the ball down there, pick up maybe 10 or a little bit more than that yards on this particular play. We've got 2 more plays to try to score, and of course that's what they got to be thinking right here. Maybe think screen pass, think draw. Let's pick up 10 to 12, put ourselves in a good position on 4th down to make that first down.
Now they'll go with trips to the near side this time. Harvey gets it. It appears to be a good catch by Nevis. And he may have a first down. Brian Nevis, number 9, his first catch of the day.
Well, Paulsboro's able to go ahead and score in this series. This will be a big play. It's going to be 4th down and about 2, but watch Nevis. He's the man at the bottom of our screen. He'll go down about 10 or 12 yards and break to the outside. He's the man Harvey's looking for. He gets the ball there, but Nevis extends himself is able to bring the ball in. Paulsboro is going to call timeout and think about this one, but he's put himself in a position now with 4th down and maybe just a little bit less than 2 yards to keep this drive alive.
You know, Howard understands the importance of this. They're up by 3. They would like to go up by 9 or 10 and really make it tough on the Lions. 11:11 showing on the clock. Today's game brought to you by Dowdy's Fine Furniture, with home and office furniture, over 24 desk styles in stock. In-store, in-home decorating service available, complete bedding department, free delivery within a 50-mile radius with a minimum purchase of $500. Dowdy's features 7 manufacturers, authorized galleries. You want to see fine furniture, you go to Dowdy's, a family tradition since 1946. Yeah, here it is, what some may be thinking, play of the ball game time. Harvey to keep it himself. Will he get the first down? I believe he does. In fact, he gets it with 2 or 3 yards to spare. Every time they've needed the first down on short yardage, they call number 8.
I don't think there was any surprise there who was going to carry that football. And again, if Paulsboro is able to go in to score, it's going to be that pass from Harvey to Nevis that a lot of people are going to look back to as maybe being a key in this ball game. Gloucester's able to stop him and take over possession. They certainly can go down very quickly and score points.
1st and goal from the 7-yard line. Again, trips right. They come back, however, with Ruffin, and Ruffin's going to lose yardage. He is hit initially by Rob Clark, and then 2 or 3 other defenders finish the job for the Lions. There'll be a loss on the play of a couple. It will be 2nd and 9. Now both teams clearly recognize the importance of these plays. I formation now. DePietro now to Harvey. Harvey wants to dip inside and does it. He does it all on his own. It's Greg Harvey. 9-yard touchdown run.
There's no way he should be able to score on a play like that. As a coach, you draw it up defensively. You've got the players there to make the play. But when you go against a player like a Kevin Harvey, this is an outstanding effort. There's 1 tackle. There are 3, 4 white shirts there ready to make the tackles. And this is what the Gloucester coaching staff is going to look back upon and see that the difference in this ball game is the ability of Kevin Harvey running the football.
Lucci to attempt the kick. I think there's a penalty possibly. Let's see. No, the kick is good. Linesman came running in as if to call a penalty, but that didn't happen. Lucci picks up his 37th extra point of the season. And the score now, 10 points separating these clubs with 10:01 remaining to play in the 4th period, 25-15.
Well, Kevin Harvey, he beat you in so many ways. 3 plays before that, it's a 20-yard pass completion to Nevis to put them in a 4th down and short situation. And then on the rollout, he picks up the 4th down. Then after a loss on the first running play, he takes the option to the left-hand side. Should have been taken down for almost no gain, but instead of being tackled for no gain, he takes it in for the score.
And now Lucci will prepare to kick off, and there's plenty of time, of course, in this 4th period. A second more than 10 minutes.
They go too fast.
Bolskis will be deep, along with Burkhart. Imagine this, will you, Steve? Number 8, Greg Harvey, the franchise, though only a sophomore, playing special teams. He, in fact, will hold Kevin Harvey
Well, Mike, he's only out there for one reason. He's a safety man. You will not see him go down and try to make any tackles. He's there just in case anybody breaks free.
Bulskis has the football. No way. He's done. Seneca Cooper, only 130-pound sophomore on the special team. Seneca Cooper making the stop. 5'5", 130 pounds.
Well, these kind of players, this player looks forward to having the opportunity to contribute in this ball game. And he gets his opportunity on the special teams, the kickoff team. His responsibility to get down there as quickly as possible, get to the guy with the ball if you possibly can, and does a great job.
And the teammates loved it. Smallest guy on the team comes up with one of the biggest plays. Bolden now wants to throw the football again across the middle and again complete, and one more time it's to Walt Mader. The tight end now has 4 receptions.
Does such a nice job of reading the defense. Bolden, as he drops back, trying to see and get the read on the linebackers. Mader continues to be able to get behind the linebackers, and that's a nice job there of giving them a little bit of room to work with.
Unofficially 12 for 18, Kevin Bolden. And no time that time as Mike Bell comes in, and credit that one to the defender, the extra defender, Brett Faraday, who they put in the ball game. Number 13 was playing in tight off the end and then backed off and took away the quick look in here, which meant he had to adjust, and it meant Bell had enough time to get to him.
And the coaches were hollering on the sideline for him to do exactly that. They want to take away those quick look-in patterns, and you're right, Bolden with no time to throw.
So second down now and 13. They'll come quickly to O'Drain, who wants to throw the football. The man is open, but he cannot get to it. Looking downfield for Bill Hagan.
That time the Paulsboro secondary was fooled. Hagan broke right up the field, the quick hook play to O'Drain, but he did not have the time because Hagan did get behind the secondary. A good throw. If you catch him in stride, he goes in for the score.
3rd and 13. 8:26 remaining to play here in the 4th period. Bolden to Chiotti on the draw. He's stripped of the football. It's loose. It's covered by Bolden, so they'll have an opportunity to punt the football. But this will not be a memorable 4 plays for, or 3 plays for Gloucester.
And we've said throughout the course of this ball game, it is so difficult, or we have found it difficult for Gloucester, in our observation, for them to move the ball going in the direction they are. I don't think our viewers at home certainly cannot appreciate how windy it is out here today. As we look up to the flags on our side, they're almost blowing off the pole. The wind is blowing so hard, and I think it seems to be in a little bit of the direction of Gloucester and in their face. They certainly have not been as effective in going this direction.
Chiotti to punt. Gets it straight up in the air, and it bounces back. It's going to be a net punt of 8 yards from the line of scrimmage. An 8-yard punt puts Paulsboro in superb field position at the Gloucester 35-yard line with 7:32 remaining to play in the 4th.
Now Glenn Howard on the sideline, he's telling everybody we're going to go 2 tight. We're going to go 1 receiver, which probably indicates that they are going to run the football. Don't want to have any mistakes right now. Let's take a little bit of time off the clock. Artis!
They're looking for Artis Ruffin. Guess where he is? He's out at the tailback position already. Uh-oh, Harvey loses the football and will gain maybe a half a yard as a result. So it'll be 2nd and 9. 10-point lead, 25-15. Paulsboro looking for the opportunity to move on and perhaps pick up their 7th sectional championship.
Again, they'd love to take a little bit of time off the clock. The one thing they do not want to do is turn the ball back over to Gloucester very quickly. Of course, you love to put a square across, and that would kind of put the sealing touches on this ball game.
There's Ruffin. He is hit. He bounces off the tackler and makes big yardage and close to another first down. The Paulsboro tailbacks and fullbacks, and even Harvey at quarterback, have that ability to hit the one man and keep right on going.
And if either the Florence or the Palmyra coaching staffs are here this afternoon scouting this Paulsboro team, that's something you got to take back with you. A lot of excited people on the Paulsboro sidelines. And the fact that you have got to get in there, you got to stick, you got to wrap, and you got to drive. As we get a measurement for the first down, they're going to be just a little bit short. You love those third down and short opportunities when you're running the ball as well as Paulsboro is right now. But we said before, Coach Leon Harris and his staff, when they look back on this ball game and you watch the tape, they're going to recount numerous opportunities that they have had defensively to make tackles and have just not executed.
Well, in this situation every time before, we've seen Harvey handle the ball himself. Kevin is not going to get this one. It will be Ruffin who will get the first down, and he'll have it and keep the drive alive. Continue to run time off the clock. Down to 6:10 now.
Well, I tell you, when it counts, they love to go to that right side. Matt Davis, Brian Peck, the tight end Mike Bell, do an outstanding job of opening holes up in key situations every time they've needed a big first down. Whether it's Harvey running the ball, Bradshaw, or Ruffin, they love to go to that right side and follow that big right tackle. Of course, that whole offensive front with Weber, Lucci, and Hampton have just all done a great job here this afternoon.
DePietro, who was the featured runner in the first period, gets the ball back here. It's been a while since he's run it, but he picks up about 6 or 7 yards, where it'll be second. In fact, credit him with 8, 2nd and 2.
5'11", 155 pounds. Eric DePietro out of that fullback position. Doing an outstanding job, of course, of running. We've said it, Mike just said, these running backs run so hard. 2 or 3 missed tackles, and DePietro is able to pick up great yardage.
From the 12-yard line, Artis Ruffin goes off the right side and picks up a couple. He will have it down to about the 10, where it'll be another first down. Let's see if it's first and goal or if they can still get a first down. It will be first and goal, so measure it right inside the 10. We'll call it 9 officially.
Glenn Howard, I think, has accomplished what he wanted to accomplish in this drive. He's taken time off. He's got the ball down deep in Gloucester territory. Even if they're not successful in scoring, Gloucester's got to score 2 times and has a long way to go to do it.
On the counter play, Ruffin looks for the end zone and is in. A 9-yard touchdown run for Artis Ruffin.
Well, it's nothing fancy. It's straight ahead blocking. It's good hard running. It's a lot of determination and a will to get to the end zone. Watch the left-hand side of your screen. It's that deep I formation. Artis Ruffin will take the ball, and then he's just going to look for the hole. Cuts back up to the inside, breaks a couple tackles to get there, but does what's necessary to get in for the score.
Super trap block by Peck. Lucci to kick. And good. .451 remaining to play. It's 32-15. Paulsboro's quest for the South Jersey Group 1 championship looks fairly secure at this point.
That was only a few minutes ago that as we looked at the Paulsboro coaching staff, there was a lot of concern on their faces, but their offense is reacting in a very positive way. Only up 18-13, they've turned this game around with 2 quick scores.
And the Gloucester fans begin to sense that it's over.
And you start to see them piling out there. And certainly they played a great game. They put themselves in position to win. They forced Paulsboro to have to make a couple big plays to get the last 2 touchdowns. But this team, with a sophomore quarterback, but with a veteran core of ball players, know how to come up with that big play when they need it.
The Cousins, quarterback Kevin Harvey, split receiver Greg Harvey. A family affair and a good one. Oh, as he hit. Hatton is taken down by Ruffin. So with 4:45, it's probably too late for Gloucester. They will not quit. They will keep coming at you. But Bolton, who's had such a fine day, is going to have to do some unbelievable magic to get them back in this ball game. 1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. To O'Drain. O'Drain with some wonderful moves gets the ball up to midfield. Gotta like this young guy.
Well, it seems year in and year out, Gloucester puts together a nice passing game with a good throwing quarterback, some receivers who don't have blinding speed, although when O'Drain made that touchdown reception earlier in the ball game, showed a lot of speed. Just a little hitch pattern on the outside. He's going to step back. Bolton's going to zip one out to him, and then we're going to see some nice running after the catch. Good footwork here to get himself upfield, hold on to the ball, and get the first down.
Bolton. Oh, it's nearly picked off. Would have been a big time for Ray Miller, 51, who probably would have gone down the right sideline all the way in to score.
Oh, Ray Miller's done a great job here this afternoon stuffing the run. And now knowing that Gloucester's got to pass the ball, the linebackers are getting into a deep drop. Going to be tough to throw the ball over the middle with that many players dropping back into the deep hook zones. This Gloucester team has been able to get behind the linebackers with their tight end and their wide receivers. With the extra defensive backs in there, it's going to be tough passing.
Giodi in motion. Bolton wants to get to that side and can't. DePietro says, forget it. And Eric throws him for a big loss and moves the ball back to the 41-yard line of Gloucester, where it'll be 3rd and 20.
Well, that time Miller and Bradshaw, the two inside linebackers, are coming. They're going to put pressure on Bolton, not allow him to have the time to set up. Bolton again with a short drop, not able to set himself. Petro doing a nice job of not allowing him to get to the outside and then making the tackle.
Bolton has to think at least 20 yards for first down here. He'll come to O'Drain on the hook. Now the pass back to Hagan, and he's driven out of bounds. A good idea, but it didn't go enough for the first down. It does get them within 7 as they get the ball to the Paulsboro 47-yard line.
That's the old hook and ladder play, well executed. Bradshaw getting up very slow downfield. He'll come off for just a few minutes, but the little hook pass is successful, and then the pitch back.
Could be last gasp for Gloucester, 3:12. If it isn't over already, failure here would probably stamp it as finished. Bolton wants to run for it. He has to get upfield. I think he's stuffed and doesn't get it, as he is really banged into by Kai Myers, number 44, along with Artis Ruffin, number 2. It will be Paulsboro football. Gloucester denied on this drive. 3:04 remaining to play. And the only question now, I think, is will it be Palmyra or will it be Florence? Because it's going to be here at Paulsboro.
And I think if you're on the Paulsboro sidelines, of course, you really don't care who it is. All you know is you're there, and we're going to play it here, and we're the team to beat. And a lot of people feel if Paulsboro comes out and executes the way they're capable of and the way they have here this afternoon, there's nobody in Group 1 that's going to beat them.
Well, they've got another obstacle before that happens, of course. They will get West Deptford on the 27th. That's Saturday. As we see the fumble here, recovered by the Lions, they'll get another chance, but just to score, not to win. West Deptford and Paulsboro will meet on Thanksgiving week Saturday, the 27th. At noon, I believe that game will be played here. The win there would give them their 10th victory and an opportunity to go 11-0. No Paulsboro team has ever done that. And do you know there have only been 2 undefeated Paulsboro teams with the outstanding football tradition they have here?
Now playing in a tough Colonial Conference, it's tough. but they have put together an outstanding squad this year and certainly in a position to do that. Nice job there, Bolden to O'Drain on the hookup for the first down. You know, a lot of people felt and were wondering how this Paulsboro team would react after the big victory over Sterling last week. Psychologically, would they be ready to be prepared to play the kind of game they would need to defeat a fine Gloucester team? And they certainly came out very strong. A little down there and end of the second quarter into the third quarter, but certainly have put together a fine offensive display here this afternoon and will in all likelihood take home the victory.
Under 2 minutes to play now. Bolden to throw again. He'll go to the tight end, who's had a very good day. Mater picking up now his 5th reception.
You know, you talk about that West Effort game on Thanksgiving and, of course, the adjustment in the playoff schedules, putting back the Thanksgiving Day games. Things were readjusted at one time for teams that qualified for Group 1. You'd play your Thanksgiving Day one Saturday earlier, which would normally be today. And then you play your 2 playoff games back-to-back, but getting back to the traditional Thanksgiving Day football rivalries that have always been there in the past. And you're right, Paulsboro's going to have to get themselves mentally ready for this West Effort team so that they can claim sole ownership of that the Colonial Conference Championship.
Oh, the ball's loose, but it's going to be ruled down as Bolden is down. 1:12 with the clock continuing to run.
I don't know if our viewers at home again can hear, but you hear that wind howling. It's just incredible that these two teams have been able to play as well as they have with the wind blowing as hard. And these are two teams that like to throw the football. We've seen that from Gloucester today. Paulsboro not as successful as maybe they were last week against Sterling, but they put just an awesome running attack together here today.
O'Drain, nowhere but backwards. Brett Faraday makes the hit. Well, Paulsboro, as we pointed out, been to the playoffs more than any other South Jersey public high school. This their 13th trip, winning in the South Jersey Group 1 in 79, 80, 82, 84, 86, and last year 92. You know, the seniors on this club, if you count their sophomore, junior, and senior year, after today will be 26-3, Steve. Not a bad performance, huh?
No, it's an outstanding group of seniors, but just an outstanding group of football players. Well executed play there. Bolden
gets it into the end zone.
We got an injured player, and of course that's something
to Hagen.
Howard does not want to see. Looks like on that side it's Greg Harvey who's holding his leg. He went down the last game against Sterling. It was just a little Charlie horse, but it seems to be in severe pain. I guess that was Hagen on the reception. Hagen on the out and up, and a nice pass by Bolden right into this heavy wind. As time has run out here, and I think the officials are going to call that a game, and a wise decision on their part.
Well, we'll watch it in any event.
Bolden steps up and really drills this one. Nice job by Hagen to adjust, and that's right at the spot where Harvey was injured, possibly got kicked in the leg. Hopefully he'll be all right and be ready for their Group 1 final game.
And it'll end apparently this way, 32-21, so they now pick up another playoff victory. They are now 16-6 in the playoffs, and the dismal playoff record of Gloucester continues. They fall to 1-6 on the season. Gloucester goes to 7-2. Paulsboro goes to 9-0. And from the get-go, when Gloucester chose to defer and say, we're going to stop the Paulsboro offense, it didn't work. Paulsboro answered that challenge with the opening touchdown, got another one, and then it looked like Gloucester was going to come back, and they did pick up some momentum, but pulling away for the victory, 32-21, Gloucester's got to be very pleased.
Oh, they certainly do. It's been a very successful season for Leon Harris. His team has done a great job. I think coming into the ball game, they felt they could stop this running attack, and that's why he put his defense out there first. But I think he found out how fine of a team this Paulsboro Red Raider team is, and a lot of that comes from the outstanding play of their quarterback, Kevin Harvey.
All right, 32-21. Gloucester loses. Paulsboro continues in their quest. Now for Steve Crispin and Channel 5, I'm Mike Lindner. Thanks for joining us today. We'll look for you next time.